Hi, Joe McCusker at the Weymouth Club today for a better version of you. We're going to go inside and do some working out. And I just want to make sure that we amplified that and made sure that it was very clear that, no matter what type of athlete you are, you should be getting your information from someone who's got certifications, and making sure that you have any injuries that you're working through your doctor and different things like that. Because, you don't want to wind up back in, like your experience with physical therapy. Yeah. That's hopefully you weren't seeing people that you were playing football showing up, doing the same thing. But that happens, right?
Exactly.
And I remember hearing a story, a guy that owned a gym up in Waltham that I used to work out at, and he said that a guy who played football with Ohio State used to love to lift weights. He worked as a guard at night, and he had a bench that he made up himself of like 3 chairs. Well, the weight of the bench and this gentleman all succumbed to a crashing mess on the floor, and this guy wasn't playing again. So, and don't mean just like to scare people, but I guess I do. You don't want don't put yourself at risk. There's no reason to.
Right.
This is very simple stuff that we've used, and it's not like it takes a lot to except for the boxes. Pretty much everything else you can manufacture, even like something like a hurdle. You could get some wood or even like some rope tied to sticks or something like
cones.
that.
You can put a cone there, and jump over the cones. Yeah,
right. So I mean, I wouldn't suggest doing it over a high fence or something. Oh, I can jump over that fence. Watch this, and be realistic. I guess with what we do, like in most things in life, as realistic as we can be and have regular expectations. Anyway.
Okay.
So we'll move on to
speed.
Next is speed, which is what I want to get. Thanks. Hi, and now we're back with Barry and Allie. We're going to go through the third segment, the segment for speed. And Barry, I'll let you take it away.
Okay. So the third phase or third component is speed. And, speed is really just moving something from point A to B as fast as you can. And that's ultimately what it is. And like I said, all those different, the power and the quickness, they all work towards improving your speed. Getting faster in a linear or lateral movement will definitely improve your quickness, especially with some of these drills. You have to kind of stop and start again, so there's a quickness component with that as well.
Sure.
So they'll all help to improve each other, okay? But, the bottom line is you have to be fast. If you don't have speed out on the ice or the court or the basketball court or the field, then you're not going to be a very effective athlete, okay? So 2 drills I'm going to show today. One is just a basic, everybody has probably seen something like this, what's called a shuttle run. And what Allie's going to do is she's going to start on one cone. Okay, all you need is 2 basic cones. And she's going to start on one side. And I'm going to have her run. Actually, Allie, can you start on the other side for me, please? And I'm just going to have her sprint. And we're going to have like an imaginary line where the cone is, and I just want her touching that line. You don't necessarily have to touch the cone, but just the line. So she's going to sprint as fast as she can, touch the line, go back, and I'm going to have her perform 6 of them. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and run through on 6, okay? Now, what are we getting from these shuttle runs? The first thing I want to see from her is when I say go, I want to see her accelerate as fast as she can. How fast can she get to full speed before she gets that cone? So not only are we asking for a quick acceleration, we're also asking for a quick deceleration. How quick can she decelerate? If she's starting to decelerate halfway there, she's slowing herself down. So she wants to decelerate as close to the cone as she can, get to that stop position, change directions, and now start the process all over again with her quick acceleration and then eventually come into the deceleration. We're just going to go back and forth with that.
And this is, how far is this, the distance between these?
Probably about 6 or 7 yards.
Okay.
All right.
So, it's not too long, not too short.
And the reason why we don't go too far, like I know teams still will test your 40 or time your 40.
Right.
But the reality is, when do you run 40 yards on a court, on the ice, or on the field? You really don't. I mean, I know it's a standard distance that they do measure when you're a football player or any sport, but the reality is, on a field or in athletics, you're really only sprinting at a time like 5 to 10 yards at a time.
Right.
So you have to be able to really accelerate quickly, change that direction. That will be a lot more functional to an athlete than saying, okay, Allie, stand here and I want you to run 40 yards and we'll time it. Okay, great, you're fast. But that doesn't necessarily carry over onto the field or the court,
right.
all right? So let's go ahead and watch Allie do this. I'm just gonna give you a set go, okay? And again, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Sprint through on 6. Yes, in position, ready, go. Speed, speed, speed. Touch and go, touch and go. That's 1, 2, that's it. 3, 4, 5, and sprint through on 6. Sprint through, sprint through. Nice job. Okay, wow. Good job. Excellent. Okay. What we saw her do, she did a great job of accelerating out of her starting position. Okay, she actually was getting that full speed, and she did a great job decelerating, changing directions, and accelerating again. Okay, so that was a great job.
I remember this from basketball, doing the lines
yep.
to the foul line.
Suicides,
right, suicide drills.
Yep.
And the reason they call them suicides,
yeah, because that was
you feel at the end of it.
That was definitely giving a lot more endurance involvement with the suicide drills. This, we're looking for just generating power and speed. How fast can she?
So you can even do this though, like if you're at a basketball court, right? I come from the end line, I go to the foul line back.
Foul line back and forth. Just pick 2 lines and just do your shuttle runs. All right. Yep. And the last component, because what this is called, this is what we would call linear speed. Okay, she's going forward and back. Okay. All right. The last component, which is probably the most important component of working speed, is lateral speed.
Okay.
Okay. Again, that lateral.
So it's not a forward motion, but
not a forward motion. Okay. Because again, when you're on the field, you're on the ice, you're, 99% of the times when you're running this way, or you're running that way. If you're a linebacker and you've got the running back just gets the ball, you're usually running laterally down the line trying to cut him off.
Right.
All right. Or if you're a D-back and the ball is being thrown, you're running this way.
Right.
Rarely do we, like even a tennis player, you're on the court, ball gets hit down the line, you got to sprint laterally. You don't turn, run this way, and then set up. You got to run laterally. Okay. So this is,
keep an eye on the ball.
Correct.
Now,
correct.
when you're doing something like that, I know there was a difference in basketball. They always would have you kind of slide, but this is more crossover.
You're sliding because you actually, in basketball, and you're playing defense, you have a guy in front of you, and you're actually trying to stay in a defensive position while you're defending him. So yes, you got to use that slide.
So
this is just, this is just how can we get from point A to B in a lateral motion while we're focusing on what's down the field coming at us.
Right.
All right. Whether it's a ball or whether it's a player or whatever. All right. So
in tennis, you're pretty much never going to be running straight ahead.
No, unless you're coming up for a volley. But or like in football, unless you're a receiver who has a fly route, you're not really running that way. You're running this way. All right. So what she's going to do is she's going to start same things, just a shuttle run. Okay. We'll just have her go 1, 2, 3, and 4. But she's actually going to move laterally as she's running. Okay. She's going to run down laterally. But notice the whole time I have my focus down the field. All right, and you want to try to improve the pace as much as you can.
So just out of periphery, you look at the...
Yes, exactly. Peripheral, you can see the cones, all right? Go ahead, Allie. And you're just going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, all right?
If you can hold this, I'll try to do this.
Yep. In position, ready, go. That's it. Quickness, quickness. Change that direction. There you go, better. And come through. Good job. Good, good. All right? And that is the final component. Again, we hit all 3 phases of working with athletes that'll improve her athleticism. Showed you 2 or 3 exercises per phase. And that is what, when I'm dealing with athletes, my thought process, when I have an athlete up here and I'm trying to get them more athletic, that's what I do.
Right? Outstanding. This has been great. Allie, thank you. I just did one very simple exercise. You can see I need to work on this. Barry, thanks for your time.
My pleasure. Yep.
And we look forward to bringing more of this to you, Allie, again. And we'll be back. Thanks.